Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Richard for WELSHYTECH, and today we have a brand new CPU cooler from Montech. It's the NX400 ARGB. Is it any good? Let's find out. Okay then guys, we are back with another video, and this is from Montech. This is the NX400 ARGB. It's a CPU cooler that we're going to check out right now. So let's get this opened. Let's have a look. This is a brand new product. By the time you see it, it'll have just come out. So look at the manual. So there's all the bracket support. Gives you the overall look of what is included on both sides, how to install it and such. Get a bit of foam for there, and then we get the product or the included accessories right there. It's one of those type of thermal pastes. Well, luckily I won't be using any thermal paste from here. I'll be using my own. So away. I will say, man, for a 120, it's quite bulky. Wow. Ooh. Okay, I do. All right. Okay, I do like the design. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So, let's have a look at this cooler. Right, so we got a 120 fan here, which is ARGB. We have got 4 heat pipes, which are a direct contact base, which is direct copper, but there's the direct die. That's cool. It is ARGB, and it is a 4-pin PWM. Well, hey, Montech, good for you. That's awesome. More brands should start doing 4-pin PWM. But, yeah, I mean, it looks okay. It looks very similar mounting to what Thermalright do, but I'm okay with that. So, as for the overall specifications, now, yes, this is the black version, but they do have it in white as well. Now, this is a 120 fan. That. The overall dimensions with the cooler itself is 150, 115, and 188 millimeters. The socket types, or the socket types it supports, is LGA 1150, 1200, 1700, 1851, so that's called Pro Series, and then it's AM4 and AM5. The overall weight is 875 grams. It's not the heaviest. It's got 4 heat pipes, supports 1 fan. The fan does range between 800 and 2000 RPM, and the fan does have a fluid dynamic bearing. The voltage range is 12 volts. Now, it does, like I said, it's got a 4-pin PWM, and it's rated for the 5-volt 3-pin ARGB. As for the airflow at max speeds, they're rating it for 85.09 CFM. Wow, that's quite high. The start pressure is at 3.35 millimeter H2O. That's not bad either. With a noise level at max, they are rated for 34.17 dBA, and you get a 1-year warranty, which isn't bad with a CPU cooler. But let's get this on the test bench, show you how to install it, and then we'll give you some benchmarks. So make sure you continue to watch. Okay then, so this is the NX400 installation. So this is specifically for AMD. So this will apply for AM4 as well as AM5. So what we're going to do is take these. These are the standoffs. One side that says Intel, one side then says AMD. You want to go by here where the holes are like that. Both sides. And you want to do it all like this, all 4 sides. And like that. Now, you want to take the brackets, which does come with 2. Now, these holes here are going to be for Intel specifically, these ones, but these outer, or the ones toward the edge of the bracket, are for AMD specifically. So, the way I like to do it is get one, put one in, then you get a magnetic screwdriver, but if you don't have one, a normal one will do fine. Go like this, start screwing it down one side, making sure that side is lined up. Once it's lined up, all you got to do then is this. Use that. Just like that, and easy. A little bit of a tip there for you. This is how I do all coolers, especially ones like this with these type of brackets. because it saves so much time. So, same thing again. Take one, put one edge there, put it down like that. Take the screwdriver, put it there, start screwing it in. And then once you feel it about to bottom off, you go like that to line up the other side, just like that. Put that in there, like that. Screw this down. Now, you don't want to screw down too tight because you could damage something, but just screw down to the point where it stops or just bottoms out, because it will just stop screwing. Right, so there's that part done. Now, thermal paste. Now, this is the thermal paste I'm using specifically. This is the one I use for AIOs, CPU coolers, and so forth. So I don't use the included one because I want consistent temperatures between all coolers that I test. So this is the one I do use. This is the X10 from Polymer. So now, obviously, thermal paste application is going to be dependent on where you actually care. Personally, I don't. As long as you get coverage toward the middle of the die, which is usually, with AM5 specifically, the chips are actually at the bottom of the IHS. And then you've got the controller then, which is directly in the middle. So usually, the die part where the CPUs are down towards here. So that's where you really want good thermal paste coverage. Then, take the cooler. Like this. Okay, this will go in one specific way, and it's this way. This is where the notch is, but there. Place it down. Get one side seated, the other seated. Now, this is where you're going to want a very long screwdriver, and happily, I've got one. These are cheap. These ones actually come with Be Quiet, so these are the ones I use. What you want to do is start that side first, and then you want to take this side. Now, you will have to put a little bit of force down just to get it to actually catch, but once it does catch, there we go, it won't move. Now these will just bottom out with the screws, so you just want to go all the way down one side, go like that then on this side by here, and that's it for installation. Back to the video. This is the Montech NX400 ARGB CPU cooler. This is a 50% fan speed. Really quiet at 50%. Same thing, but 100% fan speed. It's louder, but it's not obnoxiously loud. Okay, so when it comes to the overall system that I use for testing, it is my AM5 Ryzen 9 7900 with 16 gigs of DDR5 B650 motherboard. It's got a 1000 watt Kolink power supply, and it's got an RX 7800 XT, and it's also housed in the Be-Quiet Shadow-based 800 FX with 4 140 light ring fans. Now, as for testing and as for the room temp at the time was very warm at 16 Celsius before testing, but it did go up to 21 Celsius after testing. Now, I've done two different types of tests. One for default at this CPU, which is a 90 watts. And then there's also then one where I've pushed it a little with PBO at 100%. So, default settings, this CPU, this cooler handles it no problem. With Cinebench R23, the idles 39 with a max of 61. Blended Pavilion idles 39 with a max of 68. Blended Classroom 39 at idle, max 59. 3D Mark test idles 39 with a max of 67 Celsius. Now, as for the 7900 with PBO enabled, the CPU power draw was 154 watts. That was at high. The lows was 144, and the CPU clocks was 5.4 at high and 5 gigahertz at low. Now, at Cinebench R23. Now remember that this is including the case fans at 100% as well. The idles were 38, but the max was 91 Celsius. The Blender Pavilion, the idles were 38 with a max of 91 Celsius once again. Blender Classroom, the idles were 38 Celsius with a max of 90. And 3D Mark CPU test, the idles were 38 with a max of 87 Celsius. Now, what I'm going to do right here is actually put up a graph. I'm going to show you how good or how better other coolers on the market compared to this, like the ones from Thermalright. Okay then, so what did you think of that? Now, yes, 91 Celsius is very hot, but didn't thermal throttle, and it looks okay for a air cooler. But obviously, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Now, this is priced at £23. This is a very competitive part, especially at that price in the market when you've got someone like Thermalright that's actually in that sweet spot. Now, they've got the Burst Assassin, they've got the Assassin King, they've got the P-less Assassin Mini, which are in this price bracket. It's hard to recommend a cooler from Montech when you've got so much better options out there for the same money or even cheaper from Thermalright. It's hard for me to recommend this over them because, quite frankly, it was quite hard for me because this was sent out by for review by Montech, but I'm still going to give you guys my honest opinion. You shouldn't buy it. It's not worth it. If you plan to not overclock and you've got a non-X CPU, then yes, it's fine. But then also the included stock coolers that come with most AMD CPUs are also fine to use for stock settings. But if you plan to overclock, I suggest going with something bigger, like the Burst Assassin, which is still one of the best bang for your buck coolers on Amazon at £19 or £20. It's ridiculously priced, and quite frankly, that this one just didn't live up to what really the price range, as well as it didn't live up to the overall budget, because at £23 you really are better off buying it from a different from a different brand. Now, as much as I don't like to upset people, and this might upset Montech, but I'm still going to give my honest opinion and say that this isn't a recommendation for me, and I can't recommend someone something that, when the competition out there is a lot betterly priced and also performs better. So, yeah. This is Richard for WELSHYTECH. Don't forget to subscribe because I've got absolutely loads of stuff coming. Motherboards, graphics cards, CPUs, motherboards, everything. Coolers, which are behind me. I've got absolute tons of stuff coming and on the way, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic week and weekend ahead of you. This is Richard for WELSHYTECH. Goodbye.